Alright everyone, if you saw Dunk's stream for Cop Talk earlier today, you'll see a name mentioned. It was Antonio Nusa. Got put on the spot, basically, of Dunk jokingly. I would know about him. I actually do know a little bit about him, and I'm going to bring a bit more of the details I know about the player to you. Okay? Because we had a bit of a joke about he can play on both wings. So, I'll just get his fact file up for you. He's a Norwegian. He'll be 20. When will he turn 20? Next week. Thursday next week, 17th of April. And he was born in Oslo. His positions, it says here, winger, which I knew about, an attacking midfielder. I don't think I've seen him play as an attacking midfielder. He's usually been wide when I've seen him for Leipzig. Full name, Antonio Ermoncella Nordby Nusa. Apologies if I've got that wrong. Youth career, he was at Langhaus and then Starbuck. And then from Starbuck he started his senior career, went to Club Bruges before going to Club Next and then 2024 he moved to Leipzig. He's represented Norway at under 16, under 18, under 19, under 21 and full senior level. Senior level, 13 games, 4 goals. He won't be the main one for scoring goals for Norway, that's for sure. He's played in the Champions League, the Conference League, Belgian Super Cup as well. In fact, he played 8 games this season in the Champions League for Leipzig. I'm just going to quickly check something because we played Leipzig this year when Nunes got the goal in the 27th minute. Now if we look at the Leipzig lineup, he played. He was on the right of midfield. And he had slot X right back in front of him, Geertruida. On the opposite flank to Nusa was Xavi Simons. And up front for them that day, one player we've been linked with and another one you'll know, there was Openda. And his striker, that's Lewis Openda, the Belgian. And next to him was Benjamin Chesko. So you will have actually seen him play in the Champions League against us. So there's one for you. So, excuse me, laptop's getting a bit uncomfortable there. I really should sit at the table doing this, but I'm quite cosy here. So what else do we know about him? He's a very dynamic winger. He can dribble, and with Leipzig he will cut inside. What else do we know about him? Let's see if the scouting app has something on him. I'll have a look. See if there's anything on there I don't know. He's quick as well. One thing he can do, he can run with the ball at speed and quickly change direction. So he can do that off the ball as well. So his unpredictability makes him really hard for defenders to mark. He can play as a natural winger, so think of where Salah and Gakpo, Diaz would play now. Or he can be an inverted winger, so to speak. This also says comfortable playing in the left half space. That's a very old term in the left half, so it's a very old terminology. I'll try and find a player who would be famous for that. If you want to know the old style left half, it's normally the left side of midfield. There isn't it? So is this picture explained? No, that doesn't help. I'm just looking at them. I don't know why they've used left half here, because that's a very old terminology. The old school, if you think of the very old flat 4-4-2, the left midfield would be the left half, the right midfield would be the right half. Common formations 4-4-2, yeah. Examples of players in that position would be David Beckham, who wasn't exactly mid-winger, but he was a right-sided midfielder. It's a very interesting use there. So I was just looking at some information on him, and they go through left half, and it's not a term I've heard for years. And for younger viewers, they might not know a lot of the old position names like left half. Sweep will probably not be a term that you use now. The libero probably won't be a term that's used now. The anchor role may not be a term that's used now. He's very good at passing the ball. He's got good vision. He's got a good footballing brain. Not only is he quick, he's got a good burst of speed, so his acceleration is really high. He's two-footed. With him being 5'11", he won't be the strongest in the air. He'll be able to cope, but he won't be the strongest. He's not very defensive, so if he comes tracking back, he might give away a few fouls because his tackling is not the best. And he may need to work on crossing, but he's 19 at the minute. I think we should give him a bit of slack and leeway, let him develop. So, let's have a look at this scouting report. It says mainly starting as a left winger or adopting the left inside forward role. Oh, that's another old term, left inside forward. The old school style of that type of player would be the likes, I think, of maybe Bobby Charlton, Stanley Matthews, ilk of player, like the old style wider forwards. They weren't strikers, but they were. So you can see what I mean. He'd be a good fit to sort of cover, say, a Gakpo or a Diaz if he's still at the club. He can play anywhere along the attacking front three, being an attacking all-rounder. I'd say he'd maybe be able to deputise as a 9, but I wouldn't say he would be a classic number 9. I'd say he'd be more a false 9. Similar to maybe Firmino, or like when Diaz was employed there, that sort of role, but I think he might be a bit more accomplished than what Diaz was. He's also very comfortable on the right wing. In fact, as I said, when he played us in the Champions League, he started on the right hand side of a midfield. What does it say here? Adopting inside positions, playing more as a second striker or playmaking role. Second, so actually support striker there, which is what I've just said. They say he's a clever player with a good understanding of the game, skillful and pacey. And what was it I said? He's got a good footballing brain. So, he likes freedom. What's that? It says tactical intelligence is elevated in terms of space occupation. I'm just reading this here. He detects space amazingly well, either to come to receive in the left half space or attack vertically. Provided with high pace, it makes him a mobile and versatile player in attacking phase, difficult to detect and predict his moves. I'll try and break that down for you a bit. So the space amazingly well, the space. If you think, say your opponent's playing a 4-3-3, alright, you'll have your line of 4 at the back, your left back, right back, your 2 centre halves. Now, depending on how you line up, you may have a 1 slightly deeper midfielder and 2 further forward, more offensive, or you may have 2 slightly further back and 1 slightly ahead of them in between the 2, be like a triangle shape, or you may just have a line of 3. There's various permutations of how you can set up a 3-man midfield as well. But if you think, if this play's spread, that triangle's naturally going to be spread as well, so you'll find the space in the middle or behind them, between that midfield line and the defence, you'll find that space, or in the channels, and I think they mentioned that there. Where was it? Where did I read it somewhere. Yeah, and I said he's comfortable playing in the left half space. So the channels, so if you think this gap between your left back and also your right back and your right centre back, I should say the opposing team's right back, right centre back, that gap is your channel, and that's where the left inside forward would play. So that's, I believe, what they're alluding to there. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, but I'm just trying to remember from when I'm getting a mixture of like older terminology to modern terminology. It's what it says. So they say left half space or attack vertically, so that means he's making the direct forward run. I did a video on it, I think it was, I don't know who the player was it Morgan Rogers? I think it was the Morgan Rogers one. I don't know if that's live. I think it's live now, scheduled. But I was on about like the vertical run. Like horizontal would be left to right, and your vertical would be forward back. That's what they're alluding to here. High pace, so he'll attack spaces with pace, and with his ability to change direction quickly, it's going to be hard to predict his things. What else do we have here? Technically gifted player. Becomes a clear menace when entering in contact with the ball in the last meters, I think that's meant to say. When adopting inside areas, he possesses close ball control and fast footwork. Do you know the old saying, it looks like he's got the ball glued to his feet or tied to his feet? So he's very good in tight spaces. So if you've got a defence doing a low block and you're trying to spread that defence out and stretch it, he's going to be advantageous in that style of play. What else have we got here? He's got fast decision making, it says here. I mean, even if I can break it down so it's a bit easier to explain. In those areas, despite not being a really associative profile, is clever to provide incisive space opening passes or filter killing passes, providing goal scoring opportunities. Having creativity and vision to find passing lanes. Okay. So he can spot a run, and he can create a ball so a player can run into the space to get onto the ball, which is your space opening passes. So he creates the space for the teammate. Killing passes. Think of it as fence splitting pass. You're not far off here. A meaning there. Having creativity and vision to find passing lanes. That's a hard one to describe. I'd really be better off doing that with a video, but I can't exactly upload a video on here. Is there a way of describing it? So if you think the space between, say, right between two centre backs, you may have heard the term, even if you watch like older games or highlights, there's a gap between the defenders. And that's what a passing lane is. And it's not an aerial pass, it's on the ground. And a passing lane would be wide enough so the defender, if he stretches his leg out, he can't cut the pass off. It's doesn't help when terms that some people use are not the terms that are used now. I mean, I still know the phrase gap between the defenders. They've got a picture here, and they've got a gap between a diagonal gap between them, or a diagonal pass between the left, or to be the right back, sorry, I should say, and the centre half, and then in between the two centre halves. It's in your channels. like passing channels are the space between groups of players. Like a vertical channel is usually between I've just googled passing channels in football, and as I said, the vertical channels between fullbacks and the closest centre backs, and the horizontal channel, the space between defence, midfield, and attack. It's trying to break it down simply, so if you don't understand some of the terminology and whatnot, but if there's something you want explained a bit more, please put it in the comments and I'll try and explain it. Maybe I'll do a video on some of the terminology they use, such as channels and vertical progression and carries. But yeah, that is Antonio Nusa. So it's an exact what he could bring. He'd probably be a good asset to the squad. He's got the experience and the ability to play from the go. He's played against various European teams, obviously in the Champions League, but he's also young enough to learn and improve. And with a coach like we've got with Arne Slot, who likes to develop and improve players, you've seen what he's done with Ryan Gravenberch, for example. He's going to learn. And if you look at the players he's got at the club, if we keep Mo Salah, what a winger to learn from. He'd probably learn quite a bit from Cody Gakpo as well, because of how the way Cody Gakpo plays. He's one who cuts in from the inside and cuts into the edge of the box, whereas Luis Diaz is more... he's a bit more direct. So he's going to learn different styles, and I think he would be a good asset, as I said. But I'm not Arne Slot, I'm not Richard Hughes, I'm not Michael Edwards, I have no say on the matter. I'm just bringing the name to your attention, and I'd never even considered him and knew of him. But it's just when somebody mentioned him on the live stream today, and then Dunk's live stream, and Dunk said, mentioned me and said I'll know about him. I was like, yep, he's the Leipzig Norwegian teenager. He's a winger. And that made me think, maybe I should look a bit more on him. I know who he is, I've seen him play, I know a bit about his style of play, but I wanted a bit more in depth. And when I look at what attributes he's got and what makes him tick, I can break it down and see where he would fit. He'd be sort of in between a young start of Liverpool career Mo Salah, I think, and a Cody Gakpo. And it's hard to even compare them because you're looking at different eras as well, especially with Mo there. You're going back 8 years. So you're going back to 2017. It doesn't seem 8 years Mo's been at the club. But there you go, that's Antonio Nusa. Thank you very much, guys. And let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Take care, everyone.